Hey BookTube, it's Sarah and welcome back to my channel, The Book Bag. So as you can see, I'm doing a vlog style video because I am reading The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. This was recommended to me by my friend Jenny for my 12 months / book / friends video, which I'll link up top. I can't remember what side that's on, but I'll put it up there somewhere. And this in the background is our new cat Parsnip. She is 4 years old and she's very cute. If you haven't heard of this book, you are probably not on any book social media because this blew up on TikTok and it's been like all over BookTube and Bookstagram and everything. But basically, this is an adult romance that follows Olive, who is a PhD student, and her fake dating relationship with Adam Carlson, who is a professor like in her department but not her direct supervisor. Basically, her friend wants to date one of Olive's exes and feels weird about it, so Olive kisses the first person that she sees and to like convince her that she's over the ex, who happens to be a professor in the school. It's pretty cringy, to be honest. It's like a pretty cringy basis. This was also originally a Kylo Ren / Rey fanfic from Star Wars. If you can't tell by this cover and the fact that his name is Adam, like Adam Driver. But I've heard nothing except like rave reviews for this book, so I've been very interested to see how I feel about it. I am not a fan of the Kylo Ren Rey ship, Reylo, not my jam. So I'm hoping that that doesn't influence me too much. As you can see, I've already started reading it. I am... Oh, goodbye, sweetie. Yeah, so I'm 136 pages in so far, and it's pretty fun. It is pretty cringy, I'm not gonna lie. There's like the whole part of like her fake dating a professor. It's like a little cringy, not as bad as I thought. I don't mind it quite as much as I thought I was going to. However, there's like a lot of other really cringy stuff that happens in it that just like at one point I had to put down the book because I was like, this is so much secondhand embarrassment. I cannot deal with this. I've been finding also, like without getting too spoilery right now, he's referred to as big and like broad all the time. I am keeping a tally in my little notebook here. So far he's been called big and broad 9 times in 136 pages. And like, that's kind of like his main descriptor. They're like, briefly described his face, which I'm just picturing Adam Driver because that's what it looks like on the cover and that's who it's based off of. But then the rest of the time, like, he's just giant! His hands are massive! He is the biggest thing she's ever seen! And I'm like, okay, cool. I think actually Jack Edwards had a tweet about this where he was like reading this book and was like, man, sometimes romance is really just like, this man is big and that's all you need to know. And he's not wrong. Yeah, we know. We get it. He's ginormous. How does he fit inside of regular rooms? I don't know, but that's him, Adam. Big man. I'm trying really hard to forget that this was originally Star Wars fan fiction. But at one point they're talking about his parents and they're like, my mom's like a diplomat. And I'm like, you mean Princess Leia? The famous diplomat in Star Wars. But yeah, I was just like, Princess Leia, she's a diplomat. I see where this was going. I see the contemporary like nods to Star Wars. And it's not overt, like, let me be clear, it's not like Star Wars reference, like directly Star Wars related. But yeah, just because I knew this started out as a Star Wars fan fiction, I can kind of like pick out little things here and there where I'm like, this is the Star Wars link. I see it now. I'm also finding that Olive is seen as like incredibly naive. So it's all told from her perspective, but there'll be things where it's like, they like kiss to sell the fake dating thing. And then it's like, you know, she pulls back and then it's like almost like he wants to follow her and close that gap again. But that can't be real. She must be imagining that, right? And like it legitimately will say like, nah, not possible in the text. And that I find very grating because you could just be like, it seemed like this. and just kind of like leave it to her being like, is that what he's doing? What the heck? But instead it's like her being like, is he going to kiss me more? And then she's like, no, silly Olive, that's not gonna happen. And I don't know, I find it very grating, and it feels like younger almost. I don't know, it feels kind of more high schooly, if you will. Also in this, he's described as being like very mean to his students, and like of course he's very nice to her and everything, but I'm just like, damn, what the heck is he like? How is he Jekyll and Hyde right now, where he's sending his students home crying, but with her he's just like kind of stoic and reserved? Like, I don't know, I'm having a hard time buying that, and I kind of wish they had made him just more like stoic to his students as well, where they weren't like going out of his office crying, but were more like, you know, like, oh, I can't, like, yeah, I don't know, less like aggressively mean and maybe more just like closed off from his students. I don't know, I guess it's there to create tension. I just find it a little iffy. There was also a part in here where they talk about him being shirtless and having like an 8-pack and stuff, but all I can picture is in one of the Star Wars movies. All I can picture is one of the Star Wars movies where Kylo Ren is shirtless and they have him in these like super high-waisted pants, and Adam Driver just looks like a little rectangle man. And he looks like, I don't know, something out of like, maybe like a Lego man or something. I don't know, I'll put a picture here. But it's in that, and there's another movie, I think it's a Greta Gerwig movie that he's in, where he's also shirtless and is wearing like higher waisted pants, and he just looks like a little box, and it just is like really funny to me, and I can't explain why, but I can't, I'm like, it's not attractive, he just looks really funny. Sorry, Adam Driver, I'm sure you're a lovely person, and you're not ugly, why do they keep putting you in these high-waisted pants that like make it seem like you have no waist and you're just a little box? I'm so sorry. I'm gonna get like slightly more spoilery, but I think it's stuff that's pretty like widely talked about in regard to this book. But for example, there's one part where they're at a lecture and it's like super packed, and Olive's friend is like, I'm so like squished in here, you should go sit on your boyfriend's lap so that I can like have more room to breathe. And Olive is like, nah, I can't do that. That'd be super unprofessional because I'm a student and he's a teacher, and like we're at the school that we study/work at. Can't do that. And her friend's like, please, I am gonna be squished by this crowd. And so Olive is like, okay, fine, and like sits on his lap for the entirety of a lecture. And while like the parts where she's sitting on his lap, like, it's very cute, she's like all snuggled up, I'm like, adorable. But then I remember that it's in the middle of a crowded lecture theater, and I just like cringed full body. It was like, oh god, that's horrifying. No, I hate it. And then worse, more cringy than that, like that was pretty bad, but I knew about that. Then after that, like a few pages later, they're like getting out of class, heading home. They're in the parking lot, someone's car has died. She looks over, who's there? It's Adam. He is single-handedly pushing a truck uphill out of the way because its battery died. And I'm like, excuse me? You're telling me this professor is single-handedly pushing a truck uphill? What is happening? And he just like casually does that, and then her friend's like, you should go give him a kiss for doing that. Which, like, what is wrong with her friend? Anyways, and so she like goes over and like gives him a kiss or whatever, but I knew about that part too, where her friend is like, you should go kiss him. And that's really cringy, but I just also could not get over the fact that this man was single-handedly pushing a truck. Parsnip agrees. She thinks it's a bit much. I mean, like, you couldn't have had like him plus a couple other guys like pushing the truck, but no, it's gotta be, they're like, they put the truck in neutral and he pushes it uphill by himself quite a ways to the parking spot. I'm like, I mean, it just sounds like he could have lifted the truck himself and placed it and walked over and put it in the parking spot. But whatever, it's fine. It's, you know, it all goes along with his big broad shoulders and how giant he is. Anyways, we should talk about some good things about it. It's like pretty fun. I think the chemistry between Olive and Adam is like really good. even though I'm like kind of like I don't want to root for you because I'm not a fan of the like weird age gap stuff and the Kylo Ren Rey inspiration and how mean he seems to be to his students. But I do think their chemistry is really good, even though I'm kind of like, I don't want to ship them. I'm still like, oh yeah, they're like pretty cute. And also like Olive is demisexual, it seems like, so that's pretty cool as well. I don't think that's something that's talked about a lot when talking about the love hypothesis, but she is definitely on the asexual spectrum and it seems like is demisexual, so that's pretty cool too. Those are all of the thoughts that I have so far about this book. I'll update you as I read more. I hope that I've gotten over like the main cringy points because some of them were pretty bad and I had to stop reading for a bit. But hopefully it just gets cuter and less cringy, and I will catch y'all when I've read some more. So it's the next day. I have now finished The Love Hypothesis. It is a very quick read. I've seen a lot of people say that, and I say that's accurate because I read it in a day, last like an evening. Anyways, and I have mixed feelings about this. I think I ended up rating it 3 stars because I did enjoy the romance in it. I thought there were some really like swoony moments, some really cute like butterflies in the tummy moments. But the like cringy stuff was so cringy that it just like took me right out of it and had me like putting down the book and like swearing at the book and accidentally making it my boyfriend because I was talking to the book. So I feel some like very strong negative emotions at points, and then some other like fairly positive emotions throughout the rest of it. I did get a final tally of how many times they talk about Adam's size. It's 20 times in 300 and... Oh, hi baby. Hi, come here. So they talk about Adam's size 20 times in 350 pages. Yeah, it's a lot, Parsnip. I agree. Come here. Yes, I know you don't like being picked up. Okay, so I think Allie Hazelwood did a good job of kind of explaining why Adam was mean to his students. Like he was trying to make sure they were good scientists and he was like critiquing their work and not them personally. So I did like end up coming around to the fact that he had grad students who were like crying but then was like nice to Olive. I thought that kind of, she gave a good enough explanation that I was like, okay, yeah, I can believe this, because that was something that I was kind of struggling with at the beginning. Hello, I love you. I also noticed that every single thing that Adam owns is black and all of his clothing is black, and I was just like major Kylo Ren vibes, honestly. Just another little like Star Wars kind of link there, which once again would not really be a big deal except that I was a little bit looking for the Star Wars nods, so that, yeah, kind of irked me for whatever reason. I don't know. I hate Kylo Ren. He's just the worst. What are you doing? I did kind of call one of the little, like, I wouldn't say it's quite a plot twist, but, oh, thank you. I did call one of the plot twists a little bit before it happened, but, I mean, it's a romance book. You're not really here for the plot twists, right? You're here for the kisses. Yeah, I like the kisses you're giving me. Thank you. Thank you. I also liked in the romance how Adam was very, like, protective of Olive, but not in like a gross, like, I am a man, I must protect you, you are like unable to protect yourself way, but more of like a, you know, like, I love you so much, I will do whatever I can to help you, I will fight people who are trying to hurt you, like, you know, I want to do everything I can to be there for you, which I thought was very sweet. On the other hand, I think there was like all that cringy stuff that I talked about before at the beginning, and that was pretty bad. But then after that, it was really the sex scene that just killed me. first it was like very long. It was almost 20 pages long, and it was a lot more graphic than I'm used to reading in romance books, which I like kind of knew about and was like sort of expecting, but it was still like more explicit than I expected, which is not like criticism of the book at all. It's just, you know, not quite my preference for romance books. And then I don't think I can talk about most of the issues I had with the sex scene, because that's very not safe for work, and we're trying to keep it at least like PG 13, 14A in here. But they just like talk about his size like 5 times during the thing, and honestly it sounds like this man is wandering around with like giant like winter gloves as hands, because they're like, his fingers are so ginormous. He just like, I'm like, he's got sausage fingers. This man is a biology professor doing like freaking pipetting and stuff. How is he operating any of these delicate tools with his ginormous beefy hands that it's so bad, you guys. It was just like so annoying, because their chemistry was really good, and it was, you know, they're like in love and it's so sweet and lovely, and then you're like, okay, yeah, the things are getting steamy, and then it's like, his fingers are too big, and I'm like, excuse me? I fully believe this man is a freak, because Olive is described as like 5'8", and I'm convinced he is like 8 foot tall with like, I don't know, 10-inch diameter fingers and a freaking jaw like a snake that can unhinge. Like, he sounds horrifying. I think you were almost writing like a monster fucking book, and then you were like, that's too far, we're gonna rein it back a bit, but keep some of the weirder stuff about it. Like, I just There was also a part during the sex scene where I like legitimately gagged, so not like in a shock, but like in a that's disgusting kind of way. So that was great. It also wasn't a huge fan of how like his kind of nickname for her was to call her smartass all the time. It was kind of cute like a couple times where he's like, oh, you're such a little like, you know, smartass, but then it just kind of felt a little condescending, a little like kid sister-ish, and it was just like really repetitive. I didn't really like all the like academia stuff that was happening in it. I like the academic setting, the talks about like what it's like being in academia, because I have friends who are getting like master's degrees and stuff, and it sounds a little awful, not gonna lie, and I thought this book conveyed that very well. So I did really like the academic setting, and all that was really cool. I was for the longest time confused about who Malcolm was. I don't know if I just like missed a line somewhere in the book, but like Olive was like, oh, Malcolm's so mad at me, and I'm like, is this a friend? What? Who is this? And then I figured out it was her roommate, and I was like, oh, okay. But I think I might have just missed a sentence somewhere that I didn't realize this. So yeah, overall I think it was like pretty fun. It was like relatively cute and fluffy. There was like a bit of a miscommunication trope, but it wasn't overdone, so it was all right. I don't know if I'll be really thinking about this much longer. If anything, I'll be thinking about all the parts that were like really cringy and that I really hated more than anything, which is too bad. Yeah, I don't know, it was kind of cute. I honestly don't get the hype. Like, it was good, but I don't know why everyone is so over the moon, like this is the best thing that's ever happened to them about it. Because honestly, like, before going into this, I had heard it described as kind of like fanfic-y, and if it like started as a fan fiction, then like that makes sense. And I kind of get like the kind of like, I don't know, like butterflies in your tummy, like warm fuzzies that you can get from like reading fan fiction, but it's just like a lot cringier than some fan fiction I've read, you know? Like, there's like obviously some like not great fan fiction, because it's mostly like amateur writers writing it, and like I've written some cringy fan fiction myself. We've all been there. But I have read like really good fan fiction that is like a lot better than this, that is like just as like cute and fluffy. There's stuff that even is like, you know, explicit, but it's just like the feels are a lot better in that, and it's not as horrifically cringy as some of the stuff in The Love Hypothesis. So overall, like a medium read. Didn't like really knock it out of the park for me, but it's fun, and I wouldn't not recommend it to people. I just would say it's like, it felt very overhyped for me. But, you know, you win some, you lose some, so that's okay. It did kind of make me want to go back and read like People We Meet on Vacation though by Emily Henry, because that was a really great romance. And that's much more my kind of romance book. So let me know if you've read this book, and if you did read it, like if you loved it, what about it really made you love it? Because I wanted to really love it, but it just fell a little bit short, I think partially because of my high expectations as well as my absolute distaste for Raylo as the ship, which kind of colored some of my perceptions, I think. But yeah, let me know, like, what was it that was so outstanding about it for you? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Should I do like an intro over here too?
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not gonna put that in.
But you know what they say about big hands?
Mm-hmm. Big gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah, having like kind of names from popular culture in there as people is really throwing me for a loop a little bit, not gonna lie. Like they're like Dr. Aslan, I'm like, your professor's a lion? What? But damn. I'm trying to film.